Listen as your day unfolds, challenge what the future holds. Try and keep your head up to the sky. Lovers, they may cause you tears. Go ahead and release your fears. Stand up and be counted, don't be ashamed to cry. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know, will save the day.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to day 19 of my 100-day journal journey challenge. If you are new here, welcome. If you are not new here, welcome back. And I'm actually really elated right now, even though I have a very monotoned, calm demeanor that I'm giving off right now. But really inside, I am just so happy because the realizations that are coming in are so strong, and I needed these like yesterday, like 2 years ago, like 5 years ago. Okay, like I needed these, like, but they're here. They're here, and today I'm sharing them with my 100-day journal journey challenge, day 19, which really, honestly, this vlog today, I'm gonna have to be a little bit greedy, is literally for me. Okay, I'm gonna share it with you guys, and of course, at the end of the day, I hope that it helps somebody. I hope that someone else who needs to hear this listens to this today and gets something from it and is able to get some sort of understanding, because it's helping me immensely with a do I want to call shadow work a concept? I feel like that's watering it down too much. I feel like that's not giving it all that it's supposed, like the girth that comes behind shadow work, because this stuff is deep and it's essential. So if you did not watch the vlog before this one, I suggest that you watch it. Day 18. Go watch day 18. I'm going to give you guys like some snippets from it for this vlog today. But I suggest, like, to catch you up on speed, go and watch it. And then return back to this very moment, because I want you to know exactly where I'm coming from right now. So if you were able to see day 18 yesterday, I did not know I was going to bring up shadow work. Okay? That's one thing I want to share right now as a timestamp to you, Elise, and to anyone else who feels like hearing this. I did not know I was going to bring that up. I had no clue. But it came out. And she revealed herself, my younger me, holding hands, I mentioned, with the next version of myself, or the highest version of myself, like the version of myself that is the most evolved and purposeful, like living in her purpose. Let me turn off my fan, because that little noise, I know, must be annoying you guys. It doesn't annoy me, but I know it annoys you guys. Let me get comfy, because I feel like tonight is going to be a long night. So, yeah. So I brought up the fact that she's here now. And the reasoning for her to be here now, because when you, from my understanding with shadow work, there's certain things that we need to address with our younger selves that cause us to act the way that we act today. And because it's not something that everybody talks about, it's something that either you don't realize is really essential, or it's like frowned upon, and it's like almost to the point where it's like that doesn't affect who I am today. And because no one else is putting precedence on it, and you're quieting yourself and not making it an important thing, is why this is my opinion, is going to take longer to either heal, get to the next level, get to the certain, like, be able to be a reciprocal for certain things. People are telling you that you respond a certain way to this and that, and you're just like, no. But these are people who you love, new endeavors, and you really don't realize it's just because there's some unaddressed things that your inner child is facing, who is still running the show. Even though you're in your big adult body, it doesn't matter. You're aging, all right? Your bones are moving in certain ways that are different now that we're older, but it doesn't mean that inside there are certain things that, like, need to be addressed. And like I mentioned, I don't remember half the stuff. So that's why it has to be something that's, like, welcomed, because if not, it's just going to be shunned. And shunned meaning it's not going to have the floor, the stage to speak, to be addressed, and then we can move forward. So why this is so important, and like I brought up, she's holding hands with my higher evolved self. My higher evolved self is like, look, I want to come in and fully, with all lights on, start moving in your life officially. I'm here, and you've been doing it, obviously. Look around. But I can't respectfully until your inner child says a couple things to you and addresses a couple things. I can't come into your life until your inner child, your inner Elise, and to whoever's listening, whoever your inner child is, I don't know what your name is, okay? But just plug in your name. That little version of you respectfully has to come in and address certain things and help you to understand certain things. So what came up today for me, right? What came up today for me was like, oh, wow, okay. We're getting somewhere here that quick. Something that I knew I needed to do, shadow work, a while ago. And I was just like, I don't even know. I just know I was a silly kid. That's all I know. And I'm still silly because have childlike ways still about me. Girl, that is not, no. There's some real big stuff happening here. And what came up today, which I was so happy because I was like, what am I going to talk about today on the blog? What am I going to talk about? And this came up. I'm sorry. By the end of the day, honestly, my voice box is so tired because I talk so much throughout the day. Like with clients and just at work with my coworkers, and just then I get home with my son, and that's just a lot of talking. And then my voice box in general is very monotoned, and I naturally have like a deeper voice, so it'd be strained by the end of the day. And so I gotta do vlogs in the morning because I'm more like, but hey, this is when the download came in. It literally came in like 30 minutes ago. So I'm like, perfect. I got something to talk about. Not only because I want to have something to talk about because I have to do this challenge, but this is a real deal realization, guys. I need you guys to fully understand where I'm coming from here. Like, I understand now why I was called to do this challenge. My inner child played tricks on me. I told you, she came in through the back door because she knew that this is something that I was just overwhelmed at the thought of doing because I didn't know how to approach it. From what angle? Where do I even begin? So she came in the back door and she kind of observed, and she just announced herself just so gracefully. And now she's just, let me have my first download, which is the parts that I played in it, which is, I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel heard. You didn't let me feel heard. You dimmed yourself, which in turn was dimming me. Which in turn was dimming me. And now we're here. And even though you thrived, and even though things are great, I want things to be better for you. But they won't be until we address these things. So she mentioned that part. Those are the parts that I played in it. But there are also some things that I didn't necessarily... I'm taking accountability for the parts that I played in it. So when I felt those things that I felt yesterday that my inner child was just bringing up, I stood on it. I'm like, okay, no, I can recollect many times that I just did not honor myself. I did not honor my intuition. I did not honor what the red lights, the red flags. I just was like, didn't honor them. So I had to take accountability, and I'm still sitting with that. And that's the whole point of this work, because it's literal work. So today she was like, we got to address this whole masculine thing. And I'm like, oh, really? Because that was something else I was struggling with. So if you watch a couple, I don't know if I actually made, or I know I made a vlog about this, but I don't know if I downloaded it and like posted it on my YouTube. I would have to check. But this is something that I have been brought to tears about, because I am in the basket according to societal whatever, and the rhetoric that people just like to throw around now, especially men, in the masculine bucket. The masculine pile, the masculine side. There's a feminine side and there's a masculine side, And we all, for the record, male and female, have both in us. And sometimes males get a little bit like, what you mean? I don't got no feminine. Like, no, we all have both energies in us. Be mature about this subject so that way you can actually use them in the ways that can be conducive to your life. Sorry. So, conducive to your life. So what was I going with this? Yeah. So she was like, we got to address this masculine thing. Okay. And this is how I'm going to do it. So in the video yesterday, I mentioned how I was when I was little, right? And I mentioned how I would just have these ideas of just wanting to change my room around. And how I used to ask my brothers to help me, more like tell them to help me, and things like that. That's just one of 1,000 stories. When I was little, I just playing outside from the morning until nighttime. I used to love to play this game called World, which is basically everything I'm doing now, but I would play it in my house. And I would set up my whole entire house as a world. So I have a gazillion stories like that, okay? So as I'm editing my video so that way I can post it today, I kept wanting to take that part out. Because remember, this is something that I want to do full time. So I'm trying every day to implement one new layer, one new something that I learned about making this page lucrative, which is not much because honestly I have not been researching it, but kind of chopping and screwing some of my videos and making sure that the parts that don't really need to be in there or noises in the background and all that stuff, kind of cut those out. But I kept wanting to cut out that part about me talking about me wanting to paint my room and me wanting to change my room around and stuff. And I'm like, I want to take that out. And my inner child was like, do not take that part out. Why do you want to take that part out? That was the one download I gave you yesterday. I didn't give you any other downloads. That was the one, besides the ones about, how she felt. She felt like I didn't hear her anymore at a point in my life. And when I did hear her, I would just ignore her blatantly. So I was like, okay, I won't delete it. So today I realized why. Because in today's download, she's like, okay, I painted the picture for you. So when you hear this masculine rhetoric, this is for all the masculine women out here going through this, right? You are not masculine. If you have a you know what in between your legs, you are not a masculine person. You're not a man. You're a woman. Do not let anybody tell you anything different after today. Okay? And I'm going to try with every being and every fiber in my body right now to explain this to you. Because this is something that has brought me to tears. So if it's brought me to tears, I know it has brought you to tears. And the tears only last like 2 seconds. But they be deep tears, okay? Because I don't even know where to begin. This is who I am. This is how I am. And I've had guys tell me. I've just had people tell me, like, you know, I just want, this is verbatim. I just want someone that's just more feminine. And I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, do I look like a man? What does he mean? What does he mean? Then you turn on the TV and then you're seeing episodes strictly about this feminine and masculine stuff and people teaching women how to be more feminine. And then to find out it's not just about a dress, it's about other things too. And it's just like, it's overwhelming. It really is. So me, not that I'm trying to use all those pronouns and stuff right now, but try to stay with me here. This is deep. All that was said last night for me to understand this today. You have always been like that, Elise. This is who you are. This is who you are. You have always been an overachiever. You have always had your own ideas. You've always been very strong-willed. You've always wanted to strive for more and like to create and like to build things and then tear them down and then build them back up and problem solve and find solutions and help people and make your friends feel better and take care of your family and serve and maintain and have nice things. And the second that you had a chance to be able to get a job, you got one immediately. 13. I've been working since I was 13 years old. Okay? Do not let a man or anybody or any rhetoric or any vlog, I'm speaking to somebody out there too, do not let this rhetoric right now, because it's going to fade away. This is just a season, an era, a time and space that as a collective in the whole society of the world is just trying to come to speed with, like, women being able to do a lot of amazing things. Okay? Other than just birthing children, which is amazing in itself. I was just looking at pictures of my kid and I'm like, yo, I made that. God allowed me to make that, of course, but I was looking at the little button nose and you had the little hat on. And I was like, the skin, the nails, the eyeballs. My body was like making that stuff. Wow, we can do more even than that. And we have to give grace to the world to catch up to speed. But that's not my problem. While the world is catching up to speed, and people are going day in and day out and making content about this to the point where people are talking about this at the dinner table, that is not my problem. That is not something that's supposed to make me feel any type of way. This is just people trying to understand. Do not take it personal. So that's just one layer for anyone who is out here dealing with this and like sitting there watching shows on how to be more feminine, I'm going to tell you right now, just stop. I've done it because after a while it started to take a toll on me. But really what it's doing is it's rewiring our brains and making us feel some type of way, and it's a waste of time. Be who you are, okay? And when it comes to finding someone who will accept you for who you are, it's going to take a really strong man, because not only can you make eyeballs and fingernails, but you're really strong and you can do a lot of things, and you're looking around and you're accomplishing things left and right. Yes, naturally, it's going to take a really strong man to be able to handle that and to be able to match you and do better than you. And it's not impossible. I'm not saying that from an aspect of like, that's rare and slim and like, good luck finding that. No. No, the only ones that are making content about that are people that don't have that capability. Okay? The ones who do have that capability, they're married, or they're handling business, or they're like praying right now as we speak. And I'm speaking to you too, Elise, but also to anyone else who needs to hear this. They are literally praying and cultivating their life and tying up any loose ends and strings and doing their inner work and doing their shadow work too. And being patient and trusting in God for them to be a reciprocal match for a woman like you and I. That is the only thing that we need to be thinking about. As far as like in that one area, like there is no watching videos to try to understand and to sit a certain way and make sure. No, that's naturally going to happen when you're smitten. That's naturally going to happen when things are just being taken care of for you, but not in a like way where it's like thrown in your face, or a way that is like making you feel like at any moment this person doesn't really have the capability to do this long term. They're showing little signs because we're really smart. That's the problem. For some people, but a gift to others. We're really smart, so we can pick up on nuances. We can pick up on inconsistencies. We can pick up on fraudulent things. Like, so the rhetoric of I need submission, I need more feminine, I need more softer, is just because they're like, oh my God, they're on to me. They know I can't hold this for this long. And that's just some of the people. That's not everybody. But we won't be able to attract that if we're beating ourselves up about it and we're watching content to try to change our natural being of who we were before we even started dating, before we were even old enough to even start liking guys. And for guys who are dealing with this on the opposite end, are being called more feminine, because, okay, just to give some light for the guys too, because I am a unisex channel, so I do want to make sure I hit that. And I'm raising me and my son's dad. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm raising my son by myself, because I'm not. His father is very much so in his life. But for men who may be given the rhetoric of having feminine, more like feminine traits, who do not identify as, you know, liking the same gender or whatever. I don't know how to say all this terminology per se. I love, you know, I have no discrimination towards anybody. That's why I'm making sure I'm saying this one part right now, because I want to make sure everybody's included in this. It's because of your inner child that you may have those types of ways of being more feminine, more compassionate, more extrovert, more emotional, more empathetic, more caring, more giving a hoot. And it's being translated and you're being beaten and you're being like, be harder, be harder. And these men have cars. These men have houses. These men have stocks, okay? These men pray at night and pray for their food and open the doors and have chivalry. And when they see a woman crying, they don't tell her to just wipe their tears and suck it up. Okay? They actually sit there and either cry with them or try to find a common ground and solution, and they're being beaten up and called feminine and simps and all these other things. So I just wanted to say that one piece as a collective here. This part needed to be said tonight. She had to come in again from the back door, which is so sad. But it is. She had to come into the back door, sit for a while, and then make her presence known. Give me a download yesterday, which was simply, hey, I don't feel heard. Well, I didn't feel heard, so that's why I kind of just been non-existent for a while, and you've just been doing life with a little missing link of trying to understand, and while you're trying to figure out and learn yourself because you're growing and you're changing, there's certain things that you do and certain ways that you move, and you can't get certain understanding because I will not speak until I'm heard. That's how strong my inner child is. I put a little picture in the thumbnail of me. From that age all the way till right now, I have always been strong. So I don't want to ever, and I'm speaking for the masses right now that is dealing with this kung foolery, because all it is just a distraction that we are literally being like captivated by to a certain extent. And let me tell you, this is a realization because I have cried about this. Like, what do you mean I'm not feminine? What do you mean I have a whole byproduct? Like, I have a whole proof that I'm a woman in the next room. What do you mean? I'm sorry, this gets my feathers in a bunch. Do not let your feathers get in a bunch on this topic. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep thriving. Keep getting your everything like on point. Okay? Keep praying. Keep being a godly woman and keep striving for that. And if that is something else that you need to uncover, your inner child A is gonna tell you this, and B, your inner child can't really speak if you're like, if you don't get that part together and just take that time for yourself and not at all, like zero interchanging any sort of energies intimately, okay? Because he or she cannot. This is for men too, because you guys are not exempt from that. And this is not even a sexist vlog whatsoever topic right now. I need you guys to be old enough to make sure it fits the shoe that you're wearing and you translate it for yourself. I'm not going to keep going back and forth, okay? But the point is that you've always been like this since you were little. And what caused you to be like that, maybe it's going to come up in tomorrow's download. But we need to take today's download for what it is, okay? For the record, you have always been feminine because you're a woman. You were born a woman. For the record, you have always been a male because you were born a male. So whether or not you have more of your masculine energy coming to the forefront and shining a little bit more brighter, everybody has both energies in them. So don't let anybody take you and make you feel so small because you are shining so bright. And that's why she was so upset with me. You took my light and you made it lower. And now you're 35 years old trying to figure out how to be more feminine. Why? Because way back then, you started dimming the light slowly. You started dialing it down. And now you're like, oh my God, where is the light? Because you want to listen. And this person and that person and this show and that thing has told you that you're doing too much and you need to be a little bit more submissive and you need to be a little bit more softer. I'm not hard. I'm very caring. I just don't like BS. So anyone that's ever told me that, maybe you've gotten on my bad side. Maybe you have pushed my buttons. Maybe you have been trying to okie doke and I just don't have time. I don't have time. So if I give you my time and I exchange my energy and I exchange my even just thoughts and words and conversation with you, that can never be taken for granted. Ever. Because yeah, you're going to see the masculine side that God gave to all of us. to protect ourselves with is going to come and get you, and you're not going to like it. And that part shouldn't be brought out if you're a man. If you're a true man, your goal should never be to embrace that within a woman, because we have it in us. Do you know what happens if you touch our young? Have you ever seen a bear, a lion, a dog, a cat, when you go to attack their young? They will literally bite your head off. And what are you going to do? Call it masculine? No, you're going to be like, wow, what a good mom. All of a sudden, that's a normal feminine, or just a trait that a living being has, which is to protect itself. Do not translate that as a masculine trait. No, you're messing with me, and I'm going to protect myself. So the more I protect myself, and the more I make sure I shine my light bright, and the more I start being like, enough is enough about this feminine masculine trait. I've been like this since I was painting my walls blue and changing my room around and playing World in my house with my friends, getting ready and priming myself for the days that I'm living today. You don't get to come and say that you are just too masculine for me. I just need more of a feminine woman. What does that even mean? I need more of someone that's going to submit to me. I need somebody, I get that whole dynamic. And I've had situations where I could actually be submissive. And not only in relationships, love. Okay? Relationships you have different relationships. You have relationships with your parents, relationship with your children, co-workers, friends, neighbors. These are all relationships, but they're different relationships, but they're relationships. I've had relationships where I was able to submit. Okay? And it was because I didn't have to protect myself. There wasn't a plethora of red flags being thrown at me with a little ceiling roof of, I need more submission in my life from anybody who I talk to. I can't deal with these women that are just so masculine. It's like, you need to look within, sir. And any women that are telling you anything contrary to what you know you're bringing to the table, and you know you're willing to bring to the table, just turn the voice that is saying these things that are really just cover-ups, really just distractions, really just we got to make sure that this woman or this man does not know how amazing he is. Because I really want them. But I know I can't have them in their highest state. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to tear them down. And it's the rhetoric and the media is working in my favor. So I could just send them a vlog right quick, or a podcast real quick about these masculine women on the rise. And that will just be perfect. So it's I can have my cake and eat it too. And I could take this man and make him feel as the most lowest thing on the earth, and make him feel like he's a sissy. And at the end of the day, still suck him dry. Take him for all he has. And sit there and call him a simp. No. For the men and the women out there hearing this. Okay. Take that voice when those things and those darts are being thrown at you. And turn the translation to the Charlie Brown talking. Okay? And then put in this vlog. Play this vlog over and over and over and over and over again. Send this to whoever needs to hear this. Okay? Today, that whole rumor has it dies. I'm killing it. I am stabbing it dead. And it will not be running the show anymore. So that was the whole point, and why she was like, don't you dare. Okay? I have the floor right now for a while until I get everything that I need to get across before I hand over the baton to your highest self. Because you cannot be in your highest self without acknowledging what I have to say. Well, she's like this. She's pointing up because she's little. Until you listen to what I have to say. And I don't know how long that's going to take. But she has all the time Because if I made it this far, she has all the time in the world. Because how dare I think I can enter into my most highest self still crying because I don't feel feminine enough? And you want to enter into your... Nah. You need to uncover these things. You need to wait for your next download and zip it. So right now I am taking it in, and I have taken it in, and I'm time stamping it for myself and for whoever needs to hear this. But what I can't do is try to say but to her, right? Because she don't play that. And literally when I was little, I didn't play that. I didn't play that at all. Like, I solidified my religion at 10 years old. This is just a fun story. This might be like the next download. I don't know. But I literally waltzed up to my mom and was like, hey, I don't want to go to the church that you bring me to anymore, but I still want to go to church. I just don't want to go to that one. And she was like, okay. This is the church that my family was going to. I was baptized in that church and everything. And I didn't want to go. And I had started my spiritual endeavor from that moment on. My grandma was livid. She was livid. She was like, Elise is too small to say what she is and what she is not going to do. And she's too little to say that she's not going to, like, basically to solidify her own faith. And one thing, my mom let me do it. Like, it was crazy. I think she saw inside my eyeballs. See the black part? She looked inside the center of that, and she was just like, this little girl is serious. And from that day on, I would jump in the car with whatever neighbor, friend, anyone that was like, I'm going to church. I'll be like, can I come with you? And I started church hopping. From this church to that church, this church, Spanish churches, this church, that church, youth groups, all these things. It has been literally a journey. So that same little girl, okay, who was like, in all respect to you as my mother, I'm telling you, I'm not going back to that church. And I'm not telling you that I don't believe in God. And I'm not telling you that I don't want to carry my faith out. I just don't want to go to that church. I don't feel comfortable in that church. I'm not learning anything in that church. I can't tell you the guy's name up there. That's literally how I talked. So fast forward to now, and the media and the rhetoric and everybody trying to change themselves and to conform to these social norms, and like somebody telling you that you like and you love and you just want to please them and you want them to like you back. I just need somebody more feminine. You don't get to tell her that. That's what she was telling me. She was like, no, we're not. No. We've never been that. We've never been her. We've never been a person that doesn't like, that just goes with what someone else wants from us if it doesn't resonate. And I was like, wow. So she's like, forget all that. You're the most feminine person, okay? Because God made you a woman. Hence the woman math. I didn't know. That is woman math 101. So as I'm doing this 100-day challenge, and I'm like, I don't want to name it E-Dogs World, because as much as I love dogs, guys, I'm evolving out of that. So little by little, you even see when I start my vlogs and stuff, I'm trying not to do like the introduction, Alicia meets Dog World, because not that I'm like, oh, that's over and done with. Ugh. No, that was needed to get to where we're at today. It's nothing bad about it. There's nothing horrible, played out, old about it. It's just we are on the next. And that chapter was beautiful. So in the same way, she's like, just know I have many things. Like that, it's literally how I used to talk. So I'm laughing as I'm hearing these downloads. And as I'm explaining them to you, I know I sound cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but my collective knows exactly where I'm coming from. So I say all that to say, take something from this. as the open door and as a way to start hearing what your inner child has to say today. Because I really believe, and that's why I'm time stamping it, it is going to make or break this ball of like, knowing something is like in store, right? But you can't crack it open unless you're worthy of. Like, you're not gonna, like, you can. It's coming. It's not even about you can and you cannot. No, it's coming. But for some reason, and it's actually already here. Okay? It's just a matter of like opening it, I guess. Being able to see it, being able to recognize it. It could be passing me by every single day and I can't recognize it because I still have a certain like color blindness, you know, like, so that's why this time is so pivotal, it's so important, and it's only going to be important to those who understand this. That's another thing. I don't want to waste my time trying to explain. And that's why I'm making these videos, because when everything is like, even the stuff that has happened, where people are like, what are you doing, Elise? I love that I got into that point in my life, because I also had to learn, you have to be invited to share advice, to share like tips and tricks and stuff. Not everybody's open to hearing that. Not everybody wants to level up. Not everybody wants to be happy. Not everybody wants to change and do inner work and evolve or heal. No, not everybody is on that. So that's why I love this platform. And I love that this is my way of getting it out without abrasing anybody or opening doors that people may not want to open. They may not want to face their inner child. They may not want to start inner work. They may want to not peel off a certain scab. I mean, like, to reopen a wound so that way the pus can come out. What an analogy. Like, it's healed over, but it has pus underneath. It needs to be drained, disinfected, and then a new scab needs to come over. But not everybody wants to do that. So that's not, you gotta go where you're invited. You have to be invited for this type of like genre and like this type of like information and like activity. Not everybody's on that. So whoever heard this tonight, I love you. For whoever is like, oh my gosh, I needed to hear this. From young and old, because there's a lot of people suffering from it. It's a literal suffering. Like the bullying that women are enduring right now is crazy. And another thing, it might freak my dad out, but it's like I've been feeling like the energy of both of my grandmas. But one of my grandmas my dad's mom is not here on this physical earth, but I feel like I move like her, but I've never met her. I know for sure I move like my grandma, my mom's mom. She is a force to be reckoned with. I spoke about her in my vlog yesterday, so it's crazy that I'm speaking about her again today. But these are the women who I look up to. These are my women. Their blood is running in between my veins every single day. Yeah, not only do I want to make them proud, but I move like them, okay? My grandma taught me a lot of things hands-on. That's another reason why I just don't play the okie doke, because she doesn't play the okie doke. If a cabinet is broken, she always told me, you don't just leave it hanging. Go find the screw that looks like the other screw and screw it back up. Everything you have, you make sure you take care of it. That's how she taught me. So I don't need a guy or these women that's like, I don't do these things, And I'm going to get to that point. I'm at that point. If somebody wants to do something for me, I'm going to let you find the screw if you want to find it. But if you don't want to find it, I'm going to make sure that my cabinet is not hanging by a thread. That's just the type of woman I am. And I'm not going to be made to feel bad about it. And like I said, I know there is someone literally praying right now for a woman exactly like me. And his intention is not to sit here and like tell me how the way I am is so unattractive, but I want to be with you. Does that make any sense? The way you are is unattractive. It's not it's a turn off, but I want to be with you. I actually don't want anyone else but you. I'm going to borderline stalk you. But everything about you is like needs to change, and you're not even woman enough. When there's 8 billion people in the world. The math ain't mathin', okay? So there was so many shots thrown in this video, and I'm owning them. They were thrown at me, they were thrown at other people, they were thrown at each other. You know, but it's nothing to offend. Nothing. It's just we all need to get in where we fit in. We need to say sorry to the people we need to say sorry to. That rhetoric that's coming out for the masculine women, have more grace on the masculine women. The masculine women more than likely are going through a lot. You don't understand, like, this world is horrible, okay? So you have to get up and, like, be positive every day. And, like, the world isn't easy to maneuver around. So, yeah, masculine women may have more... The masculine energy where it's more higher than their feminine essence, okay? Have grace on them. And if it's such a bothersome to you, then help them. Instead of hurting them with your words... and by your like abuse, mental abuse, come in like how my shadow work came in from the back door and just give them some flowers, okay? Like, give them the masculine woman in your life, give her a hug. Tell her that you see her. Don't beat her up for being strong, for being an overachiever, for making over 6 figures. For getting everything that she needs for her. Her children adore her. Her family adores her. A lot of people are looking up to her. Her parents are getting older, so she's juggling so many things in her head. So yeah, sometimes when BS comes upon, yeah, she may be a little snappy, but like, listen to her and just start filling in those blanks, and you're going to see a really soft, smushy pillow arise. Which is really what everybody wants, right? But in order to get the soft, smushy pillow, you need to take accountability and you need to see the person in front of you, okay? As long as she's not cursing you out, okay, making you feel bad. Because, like I said, this video ain't for everybody. There are some people that are on the bad side of this, male and females. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the people who literally work hard and are intentional in everything they do, and they're being beaten up for that. That's who I'm talking to right now. So yeah, enough of the rants for tonight. I just want to leave it here so that way you guys can take it all in. And until tomorrow is day 20 already. Day 20 of this beautiful 100-day journal journey challenge. So I love you so much, and I will catch you on the next one. Okay? Good night.